Day 3 starts from my hotel room in Rapid City, South Dakota. It's cloudy this morning, and there are not a lot of cars in the parking lot. By the way, this room was just $53 a night plus tax, and it comes with a good breakfast. Pretty good deal. Right now the temperature is just 22 degrees, cloudy but with no snow or ice. Let's take a look at the forecast for today. It looks like they expect all the clouds to disappear, and it'll be completely sunny at around 11 a.m. The high will be 37, which is great, but look at that low, just 12 degrees. It's been a while since I've been in 12-degree weather. I'll be departing very early tomorrow morning, but I'm gonna enjoy the sunny skies later today. I left my drink in the car, and it's completely frozen. By the way, I'm glad the wind died down. That was pretty brutal yesterday. My first stop is not far. In fact, my hotel is behind that Arby's sign. The McDonald's is something of interest to a roadside enthusiast, and I'm not talking about a clean bathroom. It's the world's largest quarter pounder. This thing is huge! McDonald's created a quarter pounder fan club in early 2020 on the 50th anniversary of the creation of the quarter pounder. Mickey D's sold special merchandise such as t-shirts and scented candles. McDonald's wanted to erect this giant quarter pounder somewhere, so they wanted to find out which city in the US had the most quarter pounder fans per capita. Apparently Rapid City was the big winner. They must love these 4-ounce burgers. It's 9 feet tall and 8 feet wide and weighs 23,000 pounds. It's roughly 8 times larger than the standard quarter pounder. The burger is bronze and sits atop a granite pedestal. After the statue's unveiling, 500 quarter pounders were given away. The statue also has this disclaimer: "Statue not edible, do not eat the statue." The statue was installed on February 26, 2020, just days before the whole world shut down from the Big C. This is a pretty fun find. While I was taking video, not one but 2 people saw me filming, so they backed up and decided to take their own fun pics of the giant QPC. Hey guys, Emily, welcome everyone! It's day 3 of my freezing cold road trip, and I'm visiting the upper Midwest in wintry conditions. And just a reminder, I still don't know if my Spirit flight will take place since they just filed for bankruptcy. But today I'm going to see downtown Rapid City and Mount Rushmore, 2 places I've never been. I'm looking forward to having a great day in South Dakota. Let's go! Just a quick 10-minute trip from that McDonald's to downtown Rapid City. There are a few awesome things to see here, starting with Art Alley. Painters that have a permit from the city have created a city block filled with colorful artwork. By the way, those permits are free and can be requested online. So how about this? It's a long city block, so I'm gonna just let the camera roll and you can see all the amazing artwork. cool was all that? The art alley is located between 6th and 7th Streets, and is the alley between Main Street and St. Joseph Street. So what else is in downtown? How about a bronze statue of George Washington? And perfect for the winter season, he's got a nice warm scarf and a beanie on. How cute is this? Throughout downtown Rapid City are statues of almost all of the US presidents, starting with George Washington, who really looks comfy while he looks over downtown, but I'm not sure who gave him their winter clothes. There's also a bronze statue of a Native American from the Lakota Sioux tribe. He's wearing an eagle headdress and a turtle on his torso. This represents that we are all related. There are bronze statues of most of the US presidents in Rapid City, and I noticed some are wearing winter clothes, but not Ronald Reagan. He lasted the cold. Most of the bronze presidential statues are within walking distance. The downtown area isn't that big, so you can easily get fun pics with all of them, like Reagan's VP, George Bush the Elder. I don't think Donald Trump or Joe Biden have statues. I think Barack Obama might be the most recent one, but on many intersections in downtown, you can see up to 4 statues like Herbert Hoover. You just have to walk across the street to see another statue. This is pretty cool, the statue of Franklin D. Roosevelt speaking at his special podium, and he was the first to use radio as a way to speak directly to the people. Cross another street and there's a bronze statue of Chester A. Arthur. He has a bushy mustache, long sideburns, and a clean-shaven chin, and this pose might be him taking the oath of office after James A. Garfield was assassinated. Across another street, and here's a statue of Calvin Coolidge next to a saddle. He was president during the Roaring Twenties and granted U.S. citizenship to all Native Americans, a very popular president at the time. I'm noticing this painted mural way up here above the stores. I can't tell if that's anywhere in particular or a generic mountain lake scene. Over here is a statue of Andrew Johnson. He assumed the presidency after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. He's holding something in his hands. It's a US map broken into 2 pieces. This symbolizes post-Civil War reality, trying to put back together the country, which Johnson could not fully accomplish. Here's a president that someone gave a yellow scarf to. This is John Quincy Adams, the 6th president, and the first one to be the son of a former president. Wow, if looks could kill, you'd be lying on the floor. His predecessor looks a bit more friendly. This is James Monroe. He's got a scarf on too. He's best known for the Monroe Doctrine, that declared any European intervention in the affairs of the Americas to be a hostile act, and is used to promote use of the military. Here's a more recent president. This is Lyndon B. Johnson, and this is the first one I've seen seated. This pose is meant to show OBJ refusing to debate Barry Goldwater, who unsuccessfully ran against him in 1964. OBJ is sitting next to a stack of books, and one is labeled with a series of domestic programs during his presidency, The Great Society. I'm not going to show all the statues, and I have to head somewhere else. My next stop in Rapid City takes me to Dinosaur Park. This is an interesting city park. It has a number of dinosaur sculptures on top of a hill. The park was established in 1936 and has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places. The dinosaurs were sculpted by Emmett Sullivan, who was friends with Gutzon Borglum. Borglum is famous for sculpting Mount Rushmore, which I'll see later on today. Check out this view from here. There's a pathway and a set of stairs that lead to the top of the hill, and I bet the view is fantastic up here. I'm only about halfway up, and the view is really great. There's some houses on the right that have the same great view. Look at these dinosaur tracks molded into the concrete walkway. I'm still not quite all the way at the top of the hill, but check out this dinosaur looking at the view of Rapid City. I'm not sure what type of dinosaur it is, but let's check out the view from here. Oh yeah, this is really nice. Down here is the parking lot area where I started. Up top is a huge dinosaur. Each dinosaur has a marker detailing the type of dinosaur it is. I think this park has one of each type of dino. Over here is a Tyrannosaurus Rex with some fun fact on the marker, and here's a Triceratops. Now I'm at the top. Take a look at this. You can see the entire downtown and probably the whole city from up here. You see the pathway where we walked up here. Here's where we parked, way down there. Here's a view looking west, and you can see the black hills, those dark trees on hills in the distance. Also a factory, but otherwise, the view from here is amazing. And here's the giant dinosaur to the top. This is called an Apatosaurus, but don't worry, it only eats plants. Let me tell you, this dinosaur is huge! The dinosaur is looking north, I think. I'm really glad the clouds went away, so I can get some video of this amazing view. And there's many people getting their fun pics struggling underneath the Apatosaurus and getting some of the city view at the same time. This is a really awesome park. I see with the sun coming out, a lot more people have showed up. Now making my way down, there's the giant Apatosaurus up there, still keeping watch over the city. We decided to take the steps down, since that's quite a bit quicker than taking that long meandering pathway. Have you ever heard of Dinosaur Park in Rapid City? What'd you think? Please leave me a comment. This park is absolutely free, and it's open 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. This is a great place to see the sunrise or sunset, and also see the fireworks on Independence Day. There's also a gift shop and a visitor center. That's open from May to September. I guess this park gets very busy. I'm on my way to grab some lunch and head to the next roadside attraction, and then go to Mount Rushmore later on. Along the frontage road that leads from Rapid City to Mount Rushmore is a fiberglass giant. It looks like he's panning for gold. This is Johnny One Feather, named for a previous owner of the gold panning business behind the statue. That person made the pose for the statue, which was created in 1979. The real Johnny One Feather, whose name is John Anrud, said he was a Green Beret and was a prisoner of war that stayed at the Hanoi Hilton, where he met John McCain, who was also in prison there and who would later become a U.S. Senator from Arizona. Johnny One Feather passed away in 2018, and then the gold painting business closed. Today this business now sells rocks, gems, and other stones, as well as gifts, so it's basically another tourist travel type of store. Alright, let's move on. The drive into the Black Hills is very beautiful. I can see why this is the most popular tourist destination in the entire state. Between Rapid City and Mount Rushmore is what normally is the very touristy city of Keystone. But today, and probably during the winter, is very, very quiet and a little icy. There are rows of shops where you can buy cheap souvenirs, clothing, and other trinkets. There's also a number of hotels and restaurants here, but the only action here is a handful of tire tracks in the snowy parking lot over there. So just be aware, if you're here during the winter, you'll have to stay in Rapid City or maybe Custer if you need lodging. But there is one thing open down the road. And that's the Chainsaw Art Cellar, which features the world's largest Bigfoot carving. There's a little bit of a dusting over here, but there's some ice patches on the road there. But swing you around and take a look at this huge sculpture. Created by Jared Dahl in 2020. This Bigfoot is 23 feet tall and is named Billy. It looks pretty cool with a little snow on it. Dahl's Chainsaw Art was the same business that had the huge jackrabbit sculpture near Waldrug, which I saw yesterday. This wooden beast was carved from local ponderosa pine, cedar, and cottonwood trees. The Dahl Brothers definitely have talent with carving wood sculptures. The attention to detail on this Bigfoot and their other carvings is fantastic. Look at his toes. I think most everything except for the giant Sasquatch are for sale. In fact, someone asked if we were here to buy something. No, we're just here to see Mr. Bigfoot over here. There are a number of smaller wood carvings, and any of these would be a great addition to your home. There are lots of carvings of eagles, bears, and there was a minion standing next to the giant Bigfoot. But these carvings don't come cheap. All of the carvings are custom made from the Dahl Brothers and their staff. Also on the way out, I noticed this very patriotic chair. The top of the chair has a wood carving of Mount Rushmore. This amazing chair is impressive. Just a short distance from Keystone is Mount Rushmore, one of the most beautiful sights in America. Before going into park property, there's a special pull-off to see the view of the side profile of George Washington. Once again, I wish I had brought my other camera with better zoom. This parking lot is usually very, very, very difficult to get into to get that awesome pic, but today my car is the only vehicle in this parking lot. Now inside the park property, and there's the entrance to Mount Rushmore National Monument. There are very few people in the park today, which is a shame because it's a beautiful day to check out this amazing monument. Mount Rushmore is the most visited tourist attraction in South Dakota, with over 2 million visitors per year. The sculpture of Mount Rushmore has got some Borglum. The construction of the sculpture took place from 1927 to 1941, and he named the sculpture the Shrine of Democracy. This begins the Avenue of Flags, which was added to the park in 1976 as part of the United States Bicentennial Celebration. This is similar to what they had in Belle Fourche, where they had a sidewalk of the state flags leading to their Center of the United States monument. Maybe they got the idea from this Avenue of Flags, and we're only about an hour away from Belle Fourche. Anyway, this is an amazing walkway leading to Mount Rushmore. It's so beautiful. And here's the Georgia state flag. It was the fourth state admitted to the Union in 1788. For these flags, it looks like they're in alphabetical order since it's next to Florida. And there it is, 2 large red stripes, 1 large white stripe with the state's coat of arms surrounded by 13 white stars on a field of blue. Now inside the exhibit hall at the end of the walkway, there are a number of artifacts stored here pertaining to the construction of Mount Rushmore. And check out the little girl on her tippy toes trying to get a close-up look at the presidents. This area has a lot of artifacts from the planning and construction of Mount Rushmore to its completion. Here's the plaster and lead miniatures of each of the presidents. This says some of them had a small piece of granite from the mountain. This looks like gatherings and press releases. The one on the left might be from 1976, the bicentennial celebration. These are plaster models of the presidents. They were hung on the mountain during construction, so the workers would have a frame of reference to work from. This is interesting. This shows what Mount Rushmore looked like before any carving started. This shows how much carving was needed to create the carving. There's also a picture of a worker, and that looks really dangerous. This display also shows some of the tools the workers used to create the sculpture. This is an elevation model of Mount Rushmore, and you can see how big the carving is. And that's just for carving the heads. They originally wanted to carve more of the body. This is an aerial view of Mount Rushmore during construction that includes all the scaffolding and staging areas the workers use. Over here they show a film of the construction of Mount Rushmore. It looks like there are more moldings of what was to be the finished sculpture. Looking at the picture in the background that the guy is pointing at, does it look like the presidential heads are out of order? I think the original plans were to carve out at least to the torso of each president, showing them standing next to each other. Here's the sculptor, Gutzon Borglum. Wow, he was 58 years old when he started designing Mount Rushmore. He was an accomplished sculptor before the idea of Mount Rushmore was conceived. He was also involved in local, national, and global issues, and he had many close friends that were artisans, politicians, scientists, and lawyers. Looking at these pictures of the workers constructing Mount Rushmore, this looks so dangerous, and it was a miracle not one person was killed during carving. That's incredible. Here's another news article showing Mount Rushmore in a partially completed state. It looks like Teddy Roosevelt might have been the last president that was carved. And here's the cover of the Saturday Evening Post showing the sculpture of George Washington under construction. You see the workers working on the nose area? Here are more pictures of a crew of workers. They also have their own baseball league. You see a baseball and a sweater. The sweater was worn by the baseball team, and the design on the back was an early design of Mount Rushmore. I guess poor Teddy Roosevelt wasn't in the original plans. There's a nice picture of the worker crew in front of what looks like a finished carving of Mount Rushmore. Over here, there's a description on what Mount Rushmore means. The 4 presidents were chosen to commemorate the founding, growth, preservation, and development of the United States, and the principles of liberty and freedom on which the nation was founded. There's a large display on the wall showing a pictorial history of each of the 4 presidents that were featured on Mount Rushmore. Perhaps the most prominent president on Mount Rushmore is George Washington. Some things shown including the Revolutionary War, his signature on the Constitution, and the beginning and end of his presidency. Next is Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States. Shown near him are the Trail of Tears, the War of 1812, and his signature on the U.S. Constitution. Next is Abraham Lincoln, whom I've said many times is the best president the nation has had. There are many references to the Civil War, and also the Lincoln-Douglas debates. Finally, here's Theodore Roosevelt. He was included on Mount Rushmore for his emphasis on land conservation. There are references to the Spanish-American War and him leading the Rough Riders cavalry. Here are some more very frightening pictures of the workers carving out the presidents on Mount Rushmore. There were about 400 workers, both men and women, that created this amazing sculpture. I believe the sculptor Gutzon Borglum also created this bronze sculpture. I also learned he created the bronze bust of Abraham Lincoln at his tomb. Here's more info on Gutzon Borglum. He married his art teacher, and he connected with talented artists and thinkers around the world. Borglum actually started as a painter, but he discovered his true love of sculpting. There was going to be a reference to the Louisiana Purchase, but that was eliminated to sculpt the bust of Lincoln instead. That was a good idea. This shows the entrance to the unfinished Hall of Records, which is going to hold documents about the mountain and other documents. Basically, this exhibit hall was what was going to be in that room. The Hall of Records was abandoned in order to focus on completing the presidential faces. I guess it would have been cool to have a very close-up view of the heads, but I also wonder if that would have been a distraction and maybe seeing people up there would take away from the sculpture. Hey look, Sheldon Cooper is here. Looks like another episode of Fun with Flags. The exhibit hall was very interesting. Here's one last dramatic picture of a worker next to Washington's nose. Alright, let's go outside. Right outside the exhibit hall is the outdoor viewing platform to see the amazing sculpture. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. 14 years of hard work, and it looks incredible. Plus all the maintenance work over the years. Just below the viewing area is an amphitheater, which is a little bit snow covered today. Each night from Memorial Day weekend to September 30th, they show the film Freedom, America's Lasting Legacy, and then they illuminate the monument. During winter and spring, they still illuminate the monument each night. The park is open the entire year, except for Christmas Day. I've said it before on this trip, and I'm gonna say it again. I really should have brought my Sonic camera with a good zoom. I would have loved to have gotten better close-ups of the presidents. Also not open because of the weather is the Presidential Trail, which is a 0.6 mile trail, but the hard part is the 422 stairs you have to take. But that's okay. This monument is impressive. Most impressive. I was going to stick around until after sunset to see the mountain lit up, but since there is ice on the roads near Keystone, it's probably best that I head out before it gets dark. I'm really glad I got to see this in person instead of looking at pictures. At the start of the walkway, close to the parking structure, you can choose to exit through the gift shop. This is a massive store with lots of Mount Rushmore merch to choose from, including a whole lot of Mount Rushmore themed hats and socks. The store has pretty much any kind of souvenir you could want. I was expecting to see a much better supply of Mount Rushmore coffee mugs. They have a large assortment of shirts, including this very colorful one. And like Waldrug, they sell a variety of Huckleberry items like jellies and cookies. There are Mount Rushmore pencils, some magnets and other trinkets, also small bells, even a small plate on a holder. And for the patriotic sock lovers in your family, you can have socks of all the presidents. Take a look at this miniature moose. Looks like it's ready for the holidays. Do you want a stuffed toy of a bald eagle? They got them right here. They have a good selection of books on Mount Rushmore and the Black Hills region on the back wall. Okay, there are some more coffee mugs, plus other ornaments, and even some license plates. Some Mount Rushmore mugs for your cold beverages, and along the wall is an assortment of sweatshirts. How about some snow gloves, and down here are tumblers and water bottles. There are so many souvenirs in this large gift shop, I won't make it out empty-handed. Look at all these shirts and caps. It's really easy to spend 30, 50, even $100 in here. And finally, before I head out, look at this. Get your own rock carving of the 4 presidents. What a wonderful day. Mount Rushmore is an amazing place, And to see it with hardly anyone here is fantastic. It's usually so crowded here. What do you think of Mount Rushmore? Have you been here? If so, please leave me a comment.
And that's it. It turned out to be a really great day. I'm glad we had a sunny day, and I'm glad it wasn't windy. But I have to leave tomorrow morning in the dark since I'll be heading to another state. And what state would that be? You'll see that next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!